In today's episode, we're thrilled to have Paul Harvey with us, an expert in TikTok marketing and the TikTok shop. Paul has a wealth of experience in e-commerce, especially through Amazon, but now he's focused on helping sellers leverage TikTok to drive sales and traffic. This episode is packed with insights on why TikTok is a game changer for e-commerce businesses.
That's right, Lewis. I think it's about time that we spoke about TikTok on the Dropship Unlocked podcast because it is such an upcoming sales channel for us as e-commerce sellers. So in this episode with Paul, we'll explore why TikTok has become such a powerful platform for e-commerce and how we can effectively set up a TikTok shop. And we learn about how we can make a real success of the platform as a whole, both with the shop and with the marketing. So with today's episode, you'll have some practical tips to walk away with so you can start boosting your sales using the TikTok shop.
Absolutely. I think you're going to find this episode incredibly valuable, especially if you're looking to diversify out your marketing strategies and tap into some new customer bases. In today's episode, we'll dive into the unique advantages of TikTok and how it can be a significant driver for your e-commerce success. So get ready to learn from one of the best in the business and discover how TikTok can elevate your store to the next level. Let's get started. Welcome to the Dropship Unlocked podcast. I'm Lewis Smith, the founder of Dropship Unlocked, and with me is our client success coach, James Erdley. Now, when we're not recording the podcast episodes, we're running our own e-commerce businesses and helping aspiring entrepreneurs launch their own high-ticket dropshipping businesses. Keen to build your own 6 or even 7-figure business? My book, The Home Turf Advantage, is your blueprint for launching a profitable online store. Grab your copy at htabook.com today and let's get you started. Now sit back, relax, and let's unlock your potential with the Dropship Unlocked podcast.
So today we've been joined by Paul Harvey, who is an expert in TikTok marketing and specifically the TikTok shop. So it's something that we haven't talked about too much on the podcast so far, but I'm keen to dive into Paul's experience in e-commerce. I know he's got a lot of experience with Amazon, but now he's focused on helping sellers to leverage TikTok to drive traffic and sales. So, Paul, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thanks, James. Good to be here.
Pleasure. So, first of all, Paul, give us a little bit of a background to your story and what's led you up to the work that you're doing at the moment.
Sure thing. So basically, I'm a long-time Amazon seller, and I've worn every single Amazon hat, from agency to consultants to seller to agency to mirror and software, done a ton of things on Amazon. However, I gave up everything 2 years back to join the aggregator. The problem was all my clients and friends were selling up their Amazon businesses and making their retirement money, and I was getting upset. So, but one thing they did do really well is the aggregator purchased the software which measure all the verticals across your brand. So I look at Amazon, Walmart, Shopify, everything, and saying if sales are increasing or decreasing, we'll tell you why. And every time I ran a TikTok ad campaign, we would see a minor spark in sales on the main platforms like Amazon and Walmart. The problem was the software couldn't tell us why. And being an Amazon seller, like we have to, if you know, you really do. So the fact is that TikTok was the only promotion running, and there was a sales increase, or something. The software couldn't, because the software couldn't measure TikTok, which means we're ahead of the game. So I said to the aggregator, let's go all in, and let's just go focus on TikTok. And they said, no, Paul, we're not going to do that. We're focused on buying more brands and doing this and doing that. And like, they were just spinning the wheel. We weren't actually doing anything. And then when I left the aggregator, I left there to start up my own TikTok agency. So a long intro, but yeah, I just want to give you a breakdown of being through everything. And now I made the transition over to TikTok shop because we can see it's the new big thing.
Amazing. No, that's so interesting. If you're not willing to embrace new technologies or new marketing channels, then it sounds like businesses are being left behind. Do you think that TikTok, for you and your experience, has been the rising power in getting more sales for e-commerce brands recently?
It has been, because right now TikTok shop is like the new shiny object. and everyone's flooding to it. But the problem is, everyone floods to it. Everyone knows of someone that went viral, but no one knows of anyone that went viral twice. And that should tell you more than anything else, because the odds of going viral, it's a moonshot. You just gotta try and see where you land. But the odds of going viral twice, very, very, very rare. And if you're going viral twice, you obviously have a system. If you have a system, you know how to do it. And I say this because every seller thinks that their brand is the ideal thing for TikTok, and it will go viral, and it won't. And also, the big thing with TikTok Shop is that the affiliates promote the product. Now, a lot of the brand owners get offended because they say, "Wait a minute, these affiliates do not want to promote our product," and it's so amazing, even though they get it for free, and they're just hurt because they take it as a personal issue. That's the thing. It really is. With TikTok Shop, you have to speak to as many affiliates as possible. And only then do you have a shot of going viral. Very, very, very rare, but you still have a shot.
Interested. Yeah, I'd love to, in this conversation, talk about going viral and what an impact that can make to your business. We'll get into that. But just firstly, we haven't talked that much about TikTok. With our Shopify e-commerce businesses, we get our traffic through Google ads and then Meta ads, mainly on the retargeting side. But TikTok is definitely something that we want to look into more at the moment. From what you've seen and the trends, why do you think TikTok is becoming a popular way for people to find brands and start purchasing products through TikTok?
The reason being is that with TikTok, they're really dialed into the creator market. And right now, people don't trust a brand, but they will trust some random person they've never met before online, their opinion as opposed to the brand's opinion. That's the main reason why. So the reason TikTok Shop, actually TikTok in general, works well is because, again, people are just speaking about products and it comes across as authentic and genuine. That's the main thing. With TikTok Shop, users do see their own unique perspective of a product and then can decide if it works or doesn't work. They're all basing their opinion on someone else's opinion, which is mad, but still it works.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, it makes sense because I think people are starting to take what brands say with a pinch of salt because they can see through the fact there's always going to be an incentive to what a brand is telling you. But when it comes from a person and they're using the product, and also, I mean, I have to say a word about the numbers of users that are on TikTok as well. It's a whole market, isn't it? A whole market of people that we can get in front of because there's literally millions in each individual market.
It's so true. And what's crazy is every brand I work with says, okay, Paul, I work with the biggest, baddest affiliates, ones with a high earning income, ones with loads of followers, everything. But the likelihood of their content performing well is the same as the likelihood of a creator that's brand new on TikTok. Some of our most popular creators have followers less than 10,000 and have maybe done $100 in revenue overall, but then their one video just picked up and just performed really, really well. That's the main thing with TikTok. It's a volume game. It's a quantity game. Get your product into as many people's hands as possible and then boost their content using it and see how the results go.
Fantastic. Wow. So it's fascinating. So just to break down what you're doing for brands, I think can we put it into two separate categories? There's the TikTok Shop and then there's TikTok marketing. So there's using TikTok to get views, and then there's also TikTok Shop to actually convert customers. Do you put them into sort of two separate camps?
Not really, I don't. So I'm doing it in some ways that in each brand, they should be creating some content and posting to their profile at least like once a week or a few times a week. That's just good because TikTok loves content. So the more content there is, the better it performs. So brands should be posting at least a few times a week to that brand, but it's far easier to get affiliate content. So I have some brands that have a few thousand pieces of affiliate content on TikTok, but may only have like a handful of videos on their own profile. And like looking at this, people need to think that their website effectively is like is a proof saying that they're a real brand. Same as saying a TikTok profile is saying it's proof that you are a real brand because all these affiliates are talking about it. So now at least all that traffic will come back to the brand. That's the main thing is that I'm I do about 90% affiliate content and maybe 10% of the brand's own content, because people will trust a random person's opinion over the brand's own opinion through and through. So always recommend more affiliates as opposed to your own content.
Fantastic. So more user-generated content showing customers how people would interact with the products that you're buying. Fantastic. So with the marketing side, first of all, just to touch on that. So we're talking about affiliates and then we're talking about brand zone content. So first of all, for people that are very unfamiliar with using TikTok for advertising, what is affiliate marketing through TikTok?
So the way TikTok did this is that they really created like a win-win situation. It really is, because let's assume I'm the brand and you are the affiliate. On that TikTok on that TikTok affiliate marketplace, which is in TikTok Shop, you get a list of all the TikTok creators, the TikTok Shop affiliates, and there are like, I think about 170,000, and they only show you 400 at a time. So you can't burn through that in one sitting. But essentially, I will contact you and say, hey, this is my product. Do you want to promote it? I'll send you a sample. You then request a sample, and then use the product in a video, then post it on your profile. But when you post on the profile, you'll have a link to my shop where they can buy on TikTok Shop, and you will get a commission from every payment. The reason it works well is the average commission is 20%. So you get upfront 20% for every sale that you bring in, and the brand gets the remaining 80%. It works out really well that way because the affiliates are rewarded for their great content, and the brand is rewarded by just getting more sales. So effectively, it works out really well because we then say to the affiliates, you know what, we really like your content, so we're going to boost it with paid ads. And then that shows to them that you're willing to put money behind their content. So then it's a win-win situation. They get more views, more followers, more commission, and you as a brand get more sales. That's effectively is how the affiliates work on TikTok Shop.
Amazing. It's fantastic. And it's great that it works through the TikTok Shop, all independently within the TikTok app. So once you've got a TikTok Shop created for your brand, you just manage all of the affiliates inside the app, and you haven't got to add on a separate plugin, anything like that, to actually access the affiliates. That's handy. So actually, just to quickly cover all bases, creating a TikTok Shop, how long does that take people to do for a brand owner?
So creating a TikTok Shop can take anywhere from 5 minutes to 5 days. The biggest problem is, let's say you're trying to create a TikTok Shop in the US. You need to have a US business entity, US driver's license, US passport, US blood type. It's crazy. They request all these type of details, but it's a thing. And 10% of the brands I work with that have all the relevant credentials and criteria still don't get access. The onboarding system on TikTok is still rather painful. So go in and try. 90% of the brands get through. If they have all the criteria, get through within about the first attempt. It takes like 5 minutes to apply, or you need your business documentation, 5 minutes to apply. And then they come back to you and say, you're approved, not approved. And if you're not approved, they say why. So even if you do get your account disproved, taken down, and you can't get it approved, they just contact their support. And when they deny you, try again. Deny you, try again. I have some brands that have tried about 5 to 10 times, and they got lucky on their last attempt. And painful, frustrating, but there's no way around it.
Yeah, you get there in the end. So I just think how this works with the type of businesses that we run and grow on this channel. We'd already have a legal entity set up in the UK when we first get started. We'll have a website, professional phone number, email address. We've got all of our driver's license and everything just as a person ready to submit. So hopefully that setting up of a TikTok Shop could be done fairly smoothly for people, but there's always going to be hiccups, no doubt. But once we've got it set up, am I right in thinking, Paul, we can now sell all of the products directly from our Shopify store? We can actually sell them inside the TikTok app. Will we be able to get our feed of products submitted into TikTok?
Both. So you'll be able to submit your feed of products to TikTok Shop, and it should automatically create the whole post, everything. Just bear in mind, sometimes I've seen some Shopify sites actually delete the whole listings on TikTok Shop. It's because integration overrode some other type of stuff. Like Just bear in mind, if you're going to use it, software integration with TikTok Shop, make sure you know what you're doing, because if you don't, you can just delete everything. I've seen that happen to a few of my clients. So one thing to bear in mind. But essentially, when you use TikTok Shop with Shopify, the main thing to look at is the performance. Are you going to have Shopify fulfill for you, or you're through a 3PL? Or are you going to fulfill it yourself, or are you going to fulfill it through TikTok, where they take your stock and send it out for you? Either or. I know TikTok is pushing for a number of brands to use TikTok Shop, and the reason is because they offer free shipping. So it might be cheaper sometimes to use TikTok over your own 3PL, but bear in mind there's a bit of a share and take as that, because, for example, with TikTok Shop, if they make the mess up, it's on you. Even though they have a mistake, it's on you. And one thing to bear in mind, also the help docs between Shopify and TikTok is not really that helpful. So bear that in mind. What should be an easy process, it can be quite painful at times.
Interesting. Yeah, I suppose because it's still fairly new, TikTok Shop, so there's probably still some ironing out to be done. But fortunately, with the businesses that we've got, we should have a nice, simple delivery process already set up with our suppliers. So we would generate the sales of TikTok, but we'd probably just be able to send those orders on to our suppliers who are already going to be dropshipping directly to our customers. And that, I guess, can all be plugged in the same way that we fulfill our orders already. We just generate the sales in TikTok.
Exactly that. And the main thing is that's the hardest part. Once you sort out your performance, you're good to go on TikTok.
Fantastic. So I'm getting the feeling that the main differences between selling on TikTok compared to generating Google ads and selling on our Shopify store is mainly due to the fact that we can put our products in the hands of real people that can show their products being interacted with, which is going to just give customers a lot more trust than just seeing the products advertised by a brand. Would you say that's the main reason why TikTok is a different option compared to Meta and Google?
The other second reason is that I get a lot of flack for saying this, but it's true. A lot of TikTok users are lemmings. They really, really are. So I say that because if I see one person talking about a product, I don't care. But if I see a bunch of people talking about the same products, I'm going to check it out. Like, I don't want to feel left out. That's a big thing. FOMO is a big thing on TikTok. So the idea is to get your product into as many people's hands as possible. So what I will do is I will run a retargeting campaign. So once you see my first ad, you will see ads 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and so on and so on. The reason being, I want the audience to think the characters go viral. It's not. They're just being retargeted over and over again. And the last thing is, when someone sees your video so many times, they will already know what it's all about, and they can see other people using it. And that's the main thing, is that people already have an opinion about your product, and they can check it out and see what the fuss is about.
Fantastic. I can see how it's such a compelling offer to customers compared to just seeing one Google ad or being retargeted on Meta, because you're seeing videos, and then from your point of view, if you're scrolling TikTok, it comes up every fourth scroll, you're seeing the same product being used by somebody else. From your point of view, it's gone viral and everyone's using the product. Yeah, I can see it. The biggest question I've got for you, Paul, is that the type of dropshipping that we do is high ticket. And so our products often are an average order value of £500 and above. And even the trade cost, we might get it from our suppliers for £250, £300 per product. So if I was to come to you, Paul, and say, let's set up a TikTok shop, let's start marketing, get this product in the hands of affiliates, but I don't want to invest a lot of risky stock to give to affiliates in case we don't get the sales back. How would you approach doing this sort of TikTok marketing with high ticket businesses?
So the main thing that everyone needs to understand is that with TikTok, it's quantity beats quality. For my average client, I recommend, for a low ticket product, we recommend 500 samples to send out per month. And that sounds like a lot, but think about it. 500 samples will be 500 videos. After 3 months, there's 1,500 videos about your product. Some will perform well, most will fail, but the ones that perform well, they'll make up all the losses that there's did not do well. The main thing is, by pushing out all that content, by pushing out all that stuff, just it does grow from there. So I'm going over a tangent here, But the original question, that's I'm going to go back to that because I know myself going off on a tangent. So with TikTok, quantity beats quality. But obviously, we can't give away too many samples because that would just bankrupt us. So the deal thing is, what you're going to do is, let's say you sell a baby crib, for example. And that's hard tickets and a big bulky item and everything. What I would do first of all is look at TikTok Shop, which affiliates have actually featured which affiliates have featured a baby crib, and then say, okay, great, these affiliates featured a crib, they did this many sales. Then I will message them and say, hey, you know what, your content's awesome, but I want to pay you to create content for us. Like the commission rate is normally 20%. I want to make it 30% for you. Actually, I will do whatever I can to make that offer better than the previous offer they got with my competitor. So that there is get them to say, like, this product is better than this competitor, and so on and so forth. And I'll give them a sample and do that. And effectively, what I would do is go to all my competitors and try to poach their affiliates with my product. Effectively, that is the best thing you can do because you really know those affiliates know how to make sales in that niche.
I see. So instead of doing the quantity game initially, we're going to be really selective with the affiliates that we're going to choose. So we're going to find people that are already selling and already proven to be talking to people and their audiences. And so would we then target people, TikTok creators with a large audience? Would that be the way to go as well? Or because you mentioned before, the algorithm makes it so that you don't necessarily need a large audience.
With TikTok Shop, audience size, follower size means nothing. All my best creators have been people that have like a few thousand followers with hardly any sales, but then their one video picked up and did really, really well. So I wouldn't stress about audience size. What I would stress about is how many sales have they actually done in your niche. That's the most important metric to take on board.
Perfect. And can we find out that information from the affiliate dashboard? Can we find out how they've been selling in the past? Yeah.
Yes, you can see all their sales. You can see the videos. You can see pretty much everything. It requires a more research, but you can see all that stuff.
Fantastic. So if I was to come to you and say my average order value is £500, so I'm only willing to say let's take a gamble at this. We'll do 4 affiliates. We'll invest £1,000. We just need to get 3 or 4 sales to make our money back, and then to be profitable beyond that. Would you then be looking to find 4 affiliates that are performing well already and get the products into their hands? And then would you give them direction about the type of video to create, or would you let them decide?
I would, only because it's high ticket. And what I would do is I would look at all my competitors and create a brief saying this video did really well because it had these elements. This one did really well because it did this, so on and so forth. And basically, what I try to do with all my affiliates, I say to them, you know what, these products earn this much by doing this, so put your spin on it, and I'm going to put money behind it as it will perform well and go from there. So I recommend to everyone, talk with affiliates and make them your best friend because they will be the best marketing aspect in the whole business.
Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it all comes down to business relationships. If you make them your friend, make sure they love your product, love you as a business owner, then they're going to try harder, I suppose, on that video and promote it further on their side. So, okay, fantastic. So I'm just wondering now, Paul, if you were to, somebody's come to you like I have done in this role play situation where I'm saying, I'm going to take a bit of a gamble as a brand owner. We're going to send 4 high ticket products out to affiliates to see how many sales we get back. What sort of success stories or what would you say to them to make them feel comfortable that it's worth the gamble? I mean, have you seen lots of success from this type of marketing?
Yes and no. In the sense that let's say it's 250 pounds per item, and you do 4 items, that's £1,000. 4 videos, in my opinion, is not going to work. It really won't. But what's nice about TikTok, when we start running ads, TikTok will promote all of the ads we're pushing out. So let's say, for example, you sell a baby blanket, and someone types in baby blankets to help my kid with restless sleep, something like that. And maybe you create a video about your baby blanket, your brand, how it cures restless sleep. But that video was 2 years back. What's nice about TikTok ads that it will show that video from 2 years back because it answers the question the customer has. So I would recommend absolutely everything. And that's why I would say is that maybe right now we might see 0 sales on those 4 videos, but in the long run, you might see more sales coming in. I say this because the more content you have coming in, the better your success rate will be on TikTok Shop.
Interesting. No, that's really interesting. It's good to have the honesty about looking at it as a long-term play and not to expect that money necessarily to come back immediately. So perhaps then for us in our situation with high ticket products where we won't be investing tens of thousands to have, thousands of products being tested and videos created, would you then suggest that using TikTok ads would be a better way to go rather than trying to work organically and trying to get a return?
The reason being is that I want everyone to think of TikTok ads as like your lever to turning sales on and off. The main thing is the TikTok ads. They just rolled out this new thing called GMV Max ads. Effectively, what that is, it's when TikTok runs its own AI ads, an AI-driven campaign where it looks at all your videos, all your lives, all your content, and starts pushing it out. And then some videos will perform, some won't. But generally, I'm seeing anywhere between 5 to 10x ROI on these ads. And almost always, these GMV Max ads outperform my own manual ads, which is hard to admit, but it does. But the main problem with Max GMV ads are, it doesn't tell you which video is doing well. It just tells you, here's your sales. But you don't know which video is actually doing well. So it's kind of hard to optimize because you know what to optimize for. That being said, it was only rolled out like a month ago. And with the success of these ads, I see it being rolled out more and more or become a staple of the whole TikTok interface.
Interesting. I mean, AI ads, it definitely outperforms my own manual ads in Google ads as well. So it's just going to be the way moving forward is giving more control to understanding how powerful the AI. So it's interesting that TikTok have done that already. So I guess for people then who are just thinking about getting started with TikTok and they know that the affiliate play might be further down the line when they've got more capital to invest in giving out more samples, then they'd run ads instead. It sounds like that's the plan. Would you then suggest that they just post content regularly so that the ads that you set up can then pick from your content that you've already created to start running ads to those pieces of content?
Exactly that. And what I would do is make sure every brand actually that reverse engineers their competitors. What videos perform best? And then what I would do is basically I would hire someone to create a video, and not an affiliate, just hire someone to create a video for me, and ask them to try and match up the scenes frame by frame, because everyone likes to assume that TikTok is everyone's just the most original creator, but everything is just a copy of a copy. So if I see my competitors doing well, I'm just going to copy their stuff and put my spin on it. And that's effectively TikTok marketing. No one admits it, but it's kind of the same thing. Everyone just copies what's going on and so on and so forth. So yeah. So effectively I would do that. If the pricing tier is an issue, then just look at a bunch of videos and just create copycat videos as similar as possible to the ones that perform well.
Fantastic. So it's a case of learning what's working, what's resonating with your target audience, and then putting your own spin on it or copying it exactly to make sure that you can benefit from what's working already. Brilliant. So it sounds like that could be a way in without buying loads of samples, would just be to potentially buy a sample for yourself, one of the high ticket products that we're selling, and either make videos yourself of using the product based on what's working already, or pay an actor, somebody that will create content. Is that the way to get started for people running high ticket businesses?
Exactly that. And like the more you can do that, the better.
Brilliant. The more the better. Absolutely. So the content and quality and quantity is key by the sounds of it. Even sometimes over the quality.
Just with the quality is that people have different opinions. Like I come from the Amazon world where quality has to be like top of the best quality. Whereas with TikTok, quality is debatable. Like sometimes the raw and ugly performs way better than that curated great content. I say this because But 2 weeks back, I had a video I spent close to $3,000 to $4,000 for creating. It was a kick-ass video. It really, really was awesome. However, it was just too groomed. It was too curated. And when I launched the ad, it went absolutely nowhere. And then there was some preteen that takes her phone out. There's like a little selfie video saying, "Oh, look, my study light's being killed by the screen." Or like one liner, it went viral. And that just crushed it. And my video made nothing. But that's the nature of it. So quality is a thing, but make sure it's TikTok quality, not like our curated quality. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. That makes perfect sense. It's like, instead of like this perfect produced £1 million marketing to have like a TV ad, that's not necessarily what works on TikTok. It's more like authentic videos, just people showing their opinion on a product. And sometimes, but by the sounds of it, would you say, Paul, that people resonate more with that sort of low produced, low effort sort of content?
Like, think about it. If you are, if you have a newborn and you have a baby blanket with that newborn, and the newborn just like brings up and gets sick all over it, and then if someone showed me the video of this newborn being sick, and then like the baby blanket just cleaning it all up, as horrible as that would be to watch, you wouldn't watch it on TV. When you watch on TikTok, in the back of my head, I'm like, wow, I need that baby blanket market. That's the exact same mindset that most sellers, most audiences will be on TikTok, because they can relate to that person directly. Whereas you can't really relate to brands when they post stuff on like television ads and so on and so forth.
Exactly. They just highlight a pain that someone's having and shows the solution, which is all advertising is. So I thought I'd ask you a few questions as well, Paul, about, say we're going to go down the organic route. We're not going to run ads to videos. We're going to try and get them to get lots of views organically. And the $1 million question, Paul, is trying to approach a video to try and make it go viral. We've spoken about learning what's happened, what other competitors are doing already and what's working. But have you got any other tips for if you were trying to get a video to really work? How would you make it go as viral as possible?
So I would say the main thing is, if you can look at the TikTok Creator Center, they tell you exactly what are the most high-performing videos right now on TikTok. And that's TikTok has brought their own little chatbot into it. So you can just talk to a chatbot and say, "Give me the most viral hooks for the last 7 days in a row." They'll say to you, or you can say to it like, "This is my product, that's a baby blanket. Give me ideas for content to create," and so on and so forth. And I would say to recommend to everyone, start off at the TikTok Creative Center just as a starting point. And then you can get the ball rolling.
Fantastic, Paul. I think that gives people a good lot of information, context as to whether it worked for their business and how they'd get started. I think there is a huge opportunity with TikTok Shop and TikTok marketing, because it's relatively in its infancy compared to Google Ads and Meta Ads. I think people listening today will have come across something fairly early on compared to the masses with Google Ads. So thank you very much, Paul, for sharing your insights on this episode. If people wanted to learn more from you, Paul, where would you recommend that they go?
So I publish everything in my newsletter, like absolutely everything, from like the horror stories to the great stories. So check it out at rankster.co, rankster.co. Check out there, and I post pretty much almost every day. So any questions, just let me know.
Amazing. We'll make sure that's linked in the description and the show notes of this episode. So thank you again, Paul, for joining us today.
Thank you. Very good to be here.
Well, Lewis, that was a very insightful episode there with Paul Harvey. It's clear that TikTok and the TikTok Shop offer unique opportunities for e-commerce businesses to reach and engage with their audience in new ways.
Absolutely. Yeah, I loved Paul's emphasis on the potential for virality and the direct integration as well that TikTok Shop offers with Shopify. I think it's a fantastic platform, and one we should definitely be leveraging.
Exactly. And it's not just about the immediate sales, it's also about building a brand presence and a community on that platform, which is growing so rapidly. So yeah, just want to make sure that everyone understands the strategies that we've talked about today. And it's a bit of a fresh perspective on a new marketing channel that we haven't really gone into before. And by staying up to date with these different marketing channels that are popping up and new opportunities for us, we can stay ahead of the curve as e-commerce business owners.
That's right. And for those looking to dive deeper into these strategies that we discussed with Paul today, combining Paul's insights with the structured approach that I lay out in my book, The Home Turf Advantage, can provide a comprehensive roadmap to success. It's all about leveraging the power of TikTok while also ensuring that your business foundations are solid. So for anyone serious about boosting their e-commerce game, you can pick up a copy of my book today at htabook.com.
Enjoying the podcast? We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment or a review, and we might just feature it on an upcoming episode. Also, for detailed show notes and resources, head to dropshipunlocked.com/podcast.
If you found value from any episode of this podcast, please take just 10 seconds to leave us a quick 5-star review on your podcast app of choice. It helps us more than you could imagine. And who knows, you might just hear your comments on the show. Thanks for being part of our community. Your support helps us keep delivering a new episode every week.
Now, let's answer a question that we've had in from a listener of the podcast, Lewis. So remember, if you want your question answered on the podcast, all you need to do is comment beneath the YouTube video version of this episode, and it might just get answered in an upcoming episode. So that's exactly what Mike Course has done. So Mike's question is, hi Lewis, when setting up a limited company, would you plan for future expansion by choosing a name that's broad or go with the specific brand or niche that you're starting with? And I'm specifically talking about when registering a name with Companies House. Mike.
Hi, Mike. Yeah, thank you for the question. My approach would be to go generic with your registered company name so that you can use it for multiple stores if you need to, or so that you can pivot and potentially change your trading name or your brand name that customers see down the line. Maybe you decide to pivot after a few months and think, actually, I'm going to expand my niche in a slightly different direction. At that point, you can change your trading name, change your brand name, no problem. You don't have to go back though and change your company name because you set it up to be fairly generic from the outset. You'll find that this is what a lot of companies do. It allows them flexibility down the line. It keeps your business flexible. It allows you to pivot. It allows you to expand into different niches without confusion or needing to rebrand down the line. So it also prepares you for future growth as well. If you want to diversify, ensuring that you keep your company name relevant and relatively generic regardless of the niche that you start with. So that would be my approach there, Mike. Hope that helps.
Exactly. Yeah, great question. Oftentimes people just use their initials and retail group limited, something like that. Something simple, overarching, and then all of your trading names can sit beneath that company. So now it's time to highlight a recent review that we've had in for the podcast as well. So a big thank you to Arash for sharing your thoughts in an Apple podcast review. So Arash said, unlock your success with this amazing podcast. This is a gem for aspiring entrepreneurs, and it's packed with practical tips and expert interviews, a key to unlocking the secrets of successful dropshipping in the UK. In short, an essential listen for e-commerce enthusiasts. Highly recommend it.
Wow. Thank you, Arash, very much. I appreciate your review there. Now, as we wrap up for today, one question that I have for you listening is, who do you know who could benefit from hearing this? Open up your phone and click share and send them a link to this episode on WhatsApp and just say, thought you might enjoy this one. That tiny gesture could be the thing that changes the direction of their life for the better.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Dropship Unlocked podcast. We hope you're walking away with insights and inspiration.
To kickstart your e-commerce journey, grab a copy of my book, The Home Turf Advantage, at htabook.com. It's a distilled guide based on real experience to help you build your e-commerce venture.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more strategies and success stories. And if you like what you heard, a 5-star review would mean the world to us, and you might just get a shout out on an upcoming episode.
And finally, thank you for deciding to spend your time with us today. We can't wait to bring you more insights on the next episode of the Dropship Unlocked podcast.